All right, hello and welcome. My name is Michael Jobity, and I will be hosting this live stream today, as well as the award ceremony on the 25th to 26th of November. Welcome to the 4th edition of the Miraband UK Film Awards, powered by the Miraband Company and founded by our festival director, Jay Manari. The Miraband UK Film Awards, or MUFA, is a British, London-based IMDb qualifying film festival focused on diversity in auteur movies. As a member of Film Hub London and BFI Fan, MUFA provides a spotlight for underrepresented, emerging, and experienced independent filmmakers through weekly live stream Q&A sessions, as well as with its in-person career expo and networking opportunities, and an exciting festival event taking place on the 25th to 26th of November at the Bromley Picture House Cinema. If you haven't done so yet, please check out our festival tickets and VIP passes for the event and subscribe to our upcoming streaming platform, Stream Auteur, to watch all the officially selected candidates of this edition and vote for your favorite, which will win the Best Film Audience Award. All right, well, let's get the ball rolling with our special guest. We have an amazing team here. Please welcome Marcel Ruizendaal, Isabel Campos, and Micaela Carballo from UK and Netherlands, a finalist for Best Student Film, Best Film Score with their film, The House in the Middle of the Sea. We also have our esteemed music juror, Jonathan McKinney, with us today. The House in the Middle of the Sea is another breathtaking, diversity-driven story where after the Germans flooded large parts of the Netherlands towards the end of World War II, in a last attempt to stop the Allied advance, the Brouwer family find themselves trapped in their attic, surrounded by water. With their rations dwindling, the question of whether to stay in the house or risk going to the Nazi-occupied dry land begins to divide the family. So Marcel and Micaela and Isabel, it is a pleasure to have you on the live stream today. For the audience listening, you have all accomplished so much. Marcel, you've always had a fascination with film, starting when you were 12 years old and taped 3 green towels together to make a green screen. That's such an awesome visual. That's like a great upcoming story. And then since then, this passion has only grew to eventually, you ended up studying film in London. And here you developed your skills as a director and discovered your style and love for smaller scale emotional stories. And Micaela, you are an Argentinian composer and conductor based in London. You are currently studying the Master in Composition for the screen at the Royal College of Music with the Elizabeth Mary Morgan, the RCM, and the Good Enough College Scholarships. Your music has won awards for Best Original Soundtrack at international film festivals and was premiered and recorded in Argentina, Vienna, London, Los Angeles, and more. You have also composed music for several films, plays, video games, classical music. And for instance, you recorded music for Dubussel, which has gone on to win many awards. Congratulations on everyone's successes here today, and welcome to the live stream. How's everyone doing today?
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So happy to have you on. So obviously we have a lot of members here. I'll start with Marcel. For this film specifically, I saw you mention that this film is based on the stories of your grandmother who actually lived through the floodings depicted in the film. I was curious to what motivated you to tell the story, and how was the process of kind of like gathering that information to bring your family's experience to life?
Well, my grandmother has always been a great storyteller, and she loves telling us the stories of old, how the family used to be and how they used to live. And she is also a very emotional storyteller. And I think maybe that's where I also discovered my love for story, because the way she tells it, it's so heartwarming, but it can also break your heart. And I was actually looking for a subject for my 3rd year film of university. And we were visiting my grandmother, and somehow this topic came up, and she started telling it, and she just broke down in tears, and it was just this beautiful but heartbreaking story. And she was just so happy to share it with us, that to see what, like, after all this pain, that she created this beautiful family. And I was like, this is such a beautiful story, and I think that it's a very overlooked part of history. So I think it's important to tell these kinds of stories, especially to remember that when there's a war, there's always this part that's left behind that people don't really think about, and I think it's important to highlight that as well. And my grandmother and her sister are actually still alive. They're
Nice.
93, so they're getting old, but
Congrats. Yeah.
so I set up a camera in the corner of the room, and I asked them how everything went down, and they just talked for 2 hours straight. And so that was like the emotional core of it. But then also I had to do lots of fact finding and dig through archives and contact all these historical foundations to get a clearer picture of what like actually happened. So I think that was the two parts of it, like the emotional part which was the interviews, and the actual fact finding, which was just lots of digging through archives and lots of old documents.
Wow. I would immediately actually involve John. I'd love to hear your question for Micaela, since this film is also a finalist for Best Film Score.
So yes, I was wondering, Micaela, about your inspiration. So some of the composers that have inspired you before. That's what I was wondering about.
Hi, Sean. Nice to meet you. Well, my inspirations for the film, I mean, I think it was very easy to work with Marcel because the idea of the story was already like rotten. So they sent me the script, and I read the script, and I realized that the kind of music I usually make is emotional. So it was really fascinating for me to imagine all the immensity of the lake and the house. At the beginning, I was thinking how they are going to do all of this, because I was thinking like in the house and in the lake and all the images that are in my head before I see the film. And then when I saw the film, I realized that everything was much better than what I was thinking. So for me, it was really easy to see the image and to immerse me in the story. And to think about, I think that the isolation of these people in the middle of nowhere, and thinking about the lake that is everything, is all the time like sounding. I mean, the work with the sound designer was amazing too. So I could listen the sound of the lake. I could listen the sound of the silence in almost all the movie. And that was my first inspiration, to think about what these people is feeling there. So, and the concept of it has to be emotional, that is what Marcel and the team told me. And so I tried to think about this sound of silence that the lake generates. And then I took like the idea of maybe involve a soloist. That is why I used the cello. That I could record live, because I always think that if you are going to use someone that play alone, it's better to involve the emotions of the cellist. So I told the cellist when I recorded what was happening, to have the idea, and she was very involved of the story too. So it was like a teamwork, and I really enjoy a lot working with this film.
That's amazing. It's so nice hearing that, creative process. And because that's one of the questions I had, is like, do you start with chord progressions, or do you start with, an instrument? So hearing like the cello and the importance of silence, I think it helps, amplify that emotion in the film. Just a quick question for Isabel. Obviously, you've done work with Cerebrum. I was curious to know if you've taken any lessons learned from that film and applied it in this film, because obviously, every time you do a film, there's something new that comes up. You're wearing a lot of different hats. I was just curious if you've kind of taken any learnings from your previous film and applied that, or if you felt like this film was kind of separate in terms of your learnings.
I think, like, especially in the place I am now, in the after university, this film was such an experience, and it really put me in a position where I had to leave my comfort zone as a producer. First, it is a language I know nothing on. I knew nothing of the language. Poor Marcel, he had to be like my translator for all of it. But I think it's like also learning how to deal with people with different backgrounds and different nationalities as yours, and what is the best way to approach this or approach that. And definitely, I think I took a lot and I learned a lot from this experience. I had filmed in Portugal, my homeland, on my second year at university. And that's easy for me because I know how to do things there. But I had to learn how to take equipment from the UK to the Netherlands post-Brexit, which really put me in quite a few interesting positions and challenges, which I think altogether all of us as a team were able to accomplish. I think I learned quite a lot, and it is really rewarding knowing that the little things you do along the way make something wonderful.
Right. I actually want to jump in now with a question, which is more related. First of all, how did you know each other? Were you all in the same school, or it happened? How was the connection basically between Marcel, you, and Micaela, and you and Isabel?
Well, Isabel and I, we went to the same course.
Mm-hmm.
So we've known each other since first year, but we hadn't worked together on a project yet until this project, so that was really exciting. And our university, Middlesex University, actually did a collaboration with the Royal College of Music that like we did speed dating in a way. So we pitched our project, and then composers from the Royal College of Music could send in pitches to project that they liked, and that's how we kind of got to know Micaela.
Right. And with Isabel, is it same, or was it external connection?
No, we went to the same classes together. We were university colleagues. So
Oh, okay.
It was pretty much Marcel one day grabbed me and said, "I want to talk to you about the story," and he kind of like, I said, yes, I love the story. Yes, I'll work with you. It was that way. He approached me towards the end of the second year and said, "I want to work with you next year. This is my story," and that's how we started working together for this project.
I have to praise actually the team, because when we watch films, and we watch tons of films for selection, I never distinguish between students and normal straightforward categories. So for me, I watched the film as a pure drama, as a war film, and then at the end I realized it was a student film, and it didn't look like it at all. So it was really congrats, because it achieved equals, if not best in some cases, to people that were just working independently. I'm talking in general with all the editions we did, not just this one. It happens sometimes that we do receive student films that are not looking student films at all. So really congratulations, because it showed it was a professional work.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so amazing, and it's cool hearing your stories of how you met. It's kind of like putting the power team together, right? Like the origin stories, because it's come together to create such an amazing final film, and you see all the moving parts, everyone adding in their own talents to contribute to this wider story that's being told on a global scale. We are approaching towards the end of the live stream, so before I jump into that, I'm not sure, John, did you have any final questions, or are you happy with with everything that we chatted about previously?
John, I think you need to unmute. Can you hear us?
Yep.
So Michael was asking if you have any final questions for our team.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
No, thanks so much, John. Really appreciate it. But yeah, with that, we're towards the end of the live stream now. I just want to give a special thanks to Marcel, Isabel, Micaela, and Jonathan for all coming on and sharing your experience. I'm sure you've inspired so many listeners and maybe aspiring, students right now who want to create their own film and are trying to, create their own team to build a next film. So very inspiring, and congratulations again on The House in the Middle of the Sea. And special thanks to John for joining us as well and for his questions and Jay as well. So with that, I'd like to mention some quick reminders for the audience. All shortlisted candidates will be available on our streaming platform from the 25th of October until the 3rd of December, and you can vote for your favorite to win the Best Film Audience Award. How do you do this? Well, you visit the MUFA website, click on Films and Streaming, and subscribe to streamauteur.com. When the platform goes live, you'll be able to vote for the video that you want to win. As I mentioned earlier, the awards ceremony will take place at the Brownlee Picture House Cinema on the 25th to 26th of November. And don't forget about our exciting Career Expo and networking opportunities. And how do you get your tickets? Well, you go to mirabandukfilmawards.co.uk. Thank you again to Marcel, Micaela, Jonathan, and Isabel, and Jay Manari, our festival director.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone. Lovely to meeting you. I'll see you hopefully in person at the festival.